I am live. Cool. Hi, everybody. This is TrainX Production here. If you've read the title correctly, or if you're just a person who gets suggestions and just wants to come and chat, welcome. This is it's not update. It's more like an ideal or idea. Excuse me. I just had Chinese food. Live stream. So Augustus, how you doing? So anybody here, let me shut the lights because pain in the ass. Hold on, sorry guys. Alright, that should be good enough. Well, there's gonna be more people coming soon. Anyways, so hope you guys can see me better. So the point of this live stream right now is to ask my fans, which is you guys, the people who follow me on YouTube, you know, the people who support me as much as I try to support you guys back, any ideas. Because my documentary for Amtrak's Capital Limited, even though it was late by like a month and a half coming out, it was very successful in my opinion. I don't know what, a lot of you guys loved it. Some of you guys are like, it's okay. But, you know, that's what I want feedback on. So if anybody could give feedback, you know, please, you know, give feedback if you'd like. I'm actually asking for feedback so that way it helps me become a better better at this as we go along. So I'm asking you guys, is there any suggestions? Is there any ideas? Anything you guys want to, you know, just say? Just say it now, you know, because that's what this video is about, so that way I get ideas. Excuse me. And stuff. So, that's kind of what this video is about. So, we already have about, I think, last time I checked, 300 viewers on my documentary, which is awesome, you know. I'm not looking for a whole lot. But, you know, 300 is definitely better than, you know, like 50 or something like that. As well as, you know, a couple of my other videos were just like 1,000 views. You know, so there's only like one or two of them that are at 1,000. And then the one that's closest to that was my first video that I've ever made, which was the Amtrak Maple Leaf that was on the Canadian side at Niagara Falls, Ontario, as it was crossing the border into Canada, which was Maple Leaf number 64. And, yeah. So, this is basically my plan, or my attack plan. Or plan of attack, excuse me. I don't know how to say it right. I was thinking about taking Amtrak's Northeast Regional from Manassas, Virginia to Washington, D.C. And along that, because it's going to be on the Norfolk Southern's Washington District line, there's a lot of history to it, so it's going to make a history documentation for it. You know, about the Civil War and the transportation during the Civil War up to coming now. And I was thinking about doing that when Norfolk Western 611 comes around town. So, well, thank you, Augustus. I appreciate that. So, that's my plan. You know, if anybody has any other suggestions, like, you know, there's one suggestion I had was to take the, yeah. Oh, cool. Well, at least I have one person that's going to watch it. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate that. So, my other idea was to take the Amtrak to New York, because that was one of the trips I've always wanted to do on Amtrak, to go into New York, you know, spend a weekend up there, or maybe half a week, and then ride back. I was thinking about taking, like, a Northeast Regional, or maybe, possibly the Cell Express if I can afford it, which I almost can. Excuse me, but just for me. So I was thinking about doing something like that. I'm not too sure what the plan of attack is, but here's what I do know. I'm doing, yes, I actually have been on the Cell 6 times since I was 8 years old. I haven't rode it since 2011. Yeah. So, I haven't rode it since 2011. The only reason I took diesel up there is because, you know, as most of you guys know, I'm type 1 diabetic. And when I was diagnosed with diabetes, when I was 7, it was an unknown reason. So, the University of Yale in New Haven, Connecticut, in their medical institution, excuse my poor English. They wanted me to come up there and do tests for them or like help them out. So I said, sure, you know. And the first time we went up there, we flew, and everything was going all right. You know, everything was fine. And then they started asking us to come during school on like a weekend. So we would get up there Saturday night. Then Sunday we would do all the testing, which took about 5 hours, and then take the train home. Simple. Because on a train ride from Washington, D.C. or Baltimore to New Haven, Connecticut was approximately 5.5 hours. But the Acela, it was almost 4 hours and 45 minutes. So, yeah. However, I'm going to be mostly flying to places now because it's cheap and it's affordable. Amtrak I'm going to save for later on because most of you guys know I'm a senior. Yeah, it did, but you know what? At least the service on the Acela is a whole lot better. Especially the seats are comfortable. Even business class, which is their version of coach class, it's way better. So, great food, great service. It's really smooth. Based on the design of the Acela. So Northeast Regional, the cars are meant to go anywhere pretty much. You see those same Amfleet cars like up in Illinois or on the West Coast in the Pacific or in Florida. So, yeah, pretty much. Well, actually, you're paying for all three. That's what's going on. So, what the heck? Oh, sorry, I thought I saw something weird on my window. So you're basically paying for all three. You're paying for, yeah. So the price you would get on a Acela will be way different from a Northeast Regional. Say I wanted to go from Washington D.C. to Baltimore, it's only an hour trip. Like on Northeast Regional on a Acela, it's approximately 30 to 45 minutes. You still get good service, but you're going to see a price difference. On Northeast Regional, one way it's going to be like $20. On a Acela, it'll be like $45. So there's a price difference, but as I was explaining, you know, that's why. And you're going to see things that's going to be like that. Pretty much. And, you know, I wish it wasn't like that, but that's alright. At least it's totally worth it. At least the ride on Acela, it's way expensive, but it's worth it. It's completely worth it. It's worth your time. And they actually have Wi-Fi on board the train. Boom. It's awesome. I know, right? I wish more people watch it, but I didn't warn everybody in time enough to let you guys know I'm live streaming. That's alright. You'll see this later on. I know that because this video saves and then goes on my YouTube page. And so I won't be doing this for much longer. I just came on here to see how many people were on and, you know, get some ideas. So for the one person, Augustus, who was on, thank you very much. Appreciate it very much. If you haven't subscribed to me, go ahead and subscribe. And I'll completely subscribe back. I'll check you out. You know, like it's just a fair thing, you know. You're fair to me, I'm fair to you. It's really simple, as I want to enjoy my wonton soup real fast. Oh, okay. So, yeah, if you want to give a link, go ahead. Or you want to wait till this video is done where it saves. If you want to give a link, you can. If you're already subscribed, cool. Because I have a whole list, because I finally hit 100 subscribers. There's like about 100 people plus like 7 more as of today that I want to check out. So, oh, okay. So I'll try to check. I'll do my best. It's LandersScientific.com. Okay, yeah, totally. I will totally check that out. Since it's streaming right now, it will have the chat already, so it'll be logged on. So I'll. Okay, cool. I will. Yeah, absolutely. I'll check it out. Alright, let me get light. I can't see shit. There you go. I can't. There we go. Got some very, very high detailed, expensive studio lighting going on here. And as I'm trying to eat my soup. Fuck, that's hot. That was a mistake. That's okay. Yeah, you're I mean, there's a lot of people I know. You're Zane, right? If I said it right, you're Zane. I swear to God, that's what I remember. I remember I told you to check out my YouTube channel, totally. Yeah, I thought that was you, man. How you doing? But Yeah, pretty much. So I'm going to go up to Connecticut. I'm going end of January. I'm flying. Cool. Glad you're doing great. So yeah, like I said, I'm flying. Yeah, anytime. Yeah, I'm flying up there from Washington Reagan. I'm going to Providence actually, but then I want to stay at my aunt's house. She lives in Connecticut, and we're going to drive all together, and we're going to go to Springfield, Massachusetts for the annual Big E train show that happens up there in Springfield, Massachusetts. For those of you who do not know much about Big E train show, no matter what, it's on a week. It will always be the last weekend of January. It's completely worth it to go. Usually there's cheap prices on Southwest Airlines. Here, I'm going to compare two airlines. On JetBlue, to go from DCA to Providence, it's about anywhere between $60 and $110 is what I saw. United was about $150 to $170. Southwest Airlines, one way, $49. That's right, $49 just to go there, one way. And so it's actually $49 one way and back. So, which is really, really, I can't explain it. It's like, holy shit, compared to all these other prices for any other airline, it's like, how is this even possible? Like, you know, especially with the old airlines I used to fly, but I was extremely little, like maybe 2 years, 2 years old. I still remember it just a little bit. My memory is very faint from when I was little. Like, for example, I know where I was 9/11. I was at a place called, what was it? Frying Pan Park in Sterling, Virginia, during 9/11. And I just remember my grandmother throwing me in the car, and we're just, like, zipping right back home. And that's all I remember from that, basically. And then as I was growing up, like, going into elementary school, like, at 5th grade, I finally understood what was going on. I'm like, wow, I can't believe I kind of remember what was going on, but I was too young to understand, basically. So, yeah, okay, where was I going with this? I don't know, sorry, I was getting off topic for a second. I was talking about my memory faint or something like that. Oh, yeah. So, again, Big E train show. It's completely worth it to go. Price of admission, yes, it does cost, you know, for parking and ticket. I think parking costs, like, it doesn't cost more than $15 last year when I was there. And regular tickets for an adult is like $12. Kids is like $5. Under 12 completely is free. I don't exactly know right now because it's like August 30th. And the train show is not until January 20, whatchamacallit. Hey, Philip, what's up? How you doing? So, yeah, hey, Philip. So, Philip, you came at a good time. I was just explaining the Big E train show. And I was talking about ideas about, you know, how, like, all this stuff, so. Yeah, especially since it's, like, only an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours away from you, Zane. Definitely go there. I recommend it. Like, even, you know, if you don't catch me, it's still an awesome place to go. So, cool. P9130. Oh, you know what? Someone was telling me about that on Instagram, Philip. I'm not too sure. Oh, good. So, since you're on, Rail Fanny is on. I'm not taking my girlfriend. She's got stuff to do. But I'm going to take Mitchell. So, Mitchell and I will be coming, and then you can see my little Zoom Zoom, aka my new car. And plan is either Pointer Rocks or Brunswick. I'm strongly going to be at Pointer Rocks. So, anybody's watching who wants to go Rail Fan this weekend, wants to see me, you know, whatnot, we can all hang out. Pointer Rocks, Sunday. I'm going to try to do an all-day event from like 11 to 6, maybe 7. Depending on weather and all that stuff. Everyone says it's supposed to rain. I'm looking at the Weather Channel. It says it's going to be clear. So, yeah, that's a little bit freaking odd. No, ain't it? So, yeah, okay. So, let me get back to the Big E train show and explain it in more detail. So, picture your local train show, right? It's probably like a building long. Cool. So, I'll meet you there, Philip. So, basically picture your nearest train show, right? Maybe like a building. Like a huge building, right? We got a whole bunch of stuff. Multiply that building by 4. There are not only 1, 2, 3, but 4 buildings. Plus, there's an annual tradition us rail fanners and train people like to do is to drive 45 minutes eastbound towards Boston, and we eat at a place called the Steaming Tender in Palmer, Massachusetts. Palmer, Massachusetts is a huge train spot action place, and the Steaming Tender is a very famous restaurant. It used to be an old Amtrak station. Amtrak Vermonter used to stop there before it used to make its turnaround and head to Vermont. That stopped at like 1998, I believe, when that station was shut down, and was because it wasn't well maintained, and so it turned into the Steaming Tender, and then Amtrak once in a while still used that platform up until 2003. But the Vermonter used to not stop there, like for a passenger stop, but more for like a return. So it would back up and then it would go to Vermont on the New England Central Railroad track. Speaking of that, so behind the Steaming Tender there's a diamond, and there's actually two railroad lines that cross. There's your CSX that goes from Springfield, Massachusetts, or like all the trains from Chicago, and it goes to Boston. And then you have your New England Central Railroad that cross. And it comes from like New London, Connecticut, and it goes all the way up to Vermont, by Barry, Vermont, where Amtrak's maintenance place is, where they take some of the trains, where they modify the Acela Express to do 175. I don't have much info on that. I know a lot of you guys were asking me about that since I mentioned it. I'm going to look more into it, just like the SE44 Chargers. Rumor has it they want to replace all the MP36s on MARC, which is the Maryland Area Rail Commuter Train by MTA, which is Maryland Transit Authorities, and they're going to replace all of them, I believe 36 MP36s with SE44 Chargers. I know their SE44 Chargers are definitely coming to MARC by the end of this year, possibly going into next year. That is all I know. So, yeah. That's all the info I have at the moment. But yeah, that's all the railroad news I have. If anybody knows about the AC6000s for CSX, please let me know, especially the 600s. Of course, I haven't been seeing much. I've been seeing a couple of 5000s AC6000s, like the 5000 numbers. So if anybody can give me detail on that, please let me know. Especially what happened to the 6000s, whether they didn't run good or someone bought them out or CSX got rid of them for budgets. I don't know, but please let me know about that completely. So those of you, this is another point I want to bring up. For those of you who want to have railroad engineering or any kind of stuff to do with the railroad for a career, there are a bunch of colleges that will do it. And I'm a senior in high school, and I'm looking into all this stuff, and I found one good one that is appealing to me, and that's the University of Delaware. I hear it's a great school. I had one of my father's friend's daughter, so my cousin, who just graduated from there, she did marching band, and she was playing piccolo, but I'm a drummer and drumline, so I believe they have a drumline too. I believe they have an indoor drumline. If I'm wrong, please correct me. If I'm right, then just say, yeah, that's correct. So, hold on, my throat's getting dry. Let me have some soup. Sorry, I love my Chinese food. That's the reason why I'm happy at the moment, because of my Chinese. Yep. Welcome to the fall, with the allergies trying to come back a bit, but, with all the headaches, hurricanes, so... It's just you funny. So yeah, if anybody needs any more information about any kind of railroad news or anything like that, let me know. Comment down below as when this video comes out and saves and becomes an actual video on YouTube rather than this live stream, because I only had 2 people total come up, which is my buddy Zane and then my good friend Philip, who is currently on here. What is up, my friend? So yeah, pretty much. Oh, so a lot of you guys have requested that I wear a body cam for one of my rehearsals for Drumline. I will absolutely do it. Problem is, I can't find my GoPro and I can't find my chest strap to wear my GoPro. And then I have a new harness and I have to just make adjustments and everything like that. So, because the season is up until end of October, going into November-ish, and it's only August 30th, I have about 2 to 3 months to... fix everything pretty much, especially since our competitions are not week after week, but more like once almost every 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. My first competition doesn't start until September 30th, And I got a bunch of football games coming up soon. So I got my first one this Friday that I perform in. So if anybody lives near Broad Run High School, definitely come by. Us marching band people perform in the middle, or like right at the beginning of halftime, and we do a whole bunch of stand jam stuff. So if you want to come up, join us, be goofy with us, whatnot, please come. If you want to learn about some drum stuff while we're up there, I'll teach you. We'll teach you all. I know how to play bass drum, tenors, and snares. I know how to do all that stuff. Now for snare, I'm not really professional because I haven't officially played it. However, wait, hold up. Yeah, so I'm actually going to plan to do that after this winter. Because why do I need to go that far right now when I have like everything here? So basically, I'm going to stay up here for a bit. Maybe after I come back from the Big E Train Show, I'll start extending my my distances. Like maybe I'll go down to Rockville, film Amtrak stop in there. Maybe I'll go like to all the way to Martinsburg by myself. I don't know. So yeah. Like, I'll let you know when I go to Gaithersburg. Of course, I give you a heads up on what's going on. So, I'm usually pretty good at that. So, man, how long am I recording for? 21 minutes. Jesus. I talk more than I think, and I think more than I talk, and I eat more than anything else, which is awesome, and I want to keep that. So, that's what's going on, basically. If anybody has any questions, please let me know. If you haven't subscribed, cool. Appreciate your appreciation, basically. So if anybody has any questions, comments, please let me know down below. Suggestions, I'll take those too. This is what this video is about. Documentary suggestions. Like I said, I was thinking about taking Northeast Regional from Manassas, Virginia to Washington, D.C., doing a Civil War documentary on the line because, as you guys know, the Norfolk Southern Washington District basically is an old railroad Civil War trail. And it sits on the old Civil War trail, basically. Or one of them, because there's a whole bunch of them in the United States. On the eastern/Midwest side. Because the Civil War sort of extended to the Midwest, but not quite. So technically, speaking, it did go into the Midwest, but not like really into. Maybe 20 miles in the line of the Midwest and the East, or the Mid-East. So yeah, I'm going to definitely do more documentaries. The question is, how should I do them? When should I do them? What should they be on? Yeah, well, thank you. So that's my ideas and plans. And those of you who are rail fanning tomorrow, yeah. So those of you who are rail fanning tomorrow, all over the CSX, Cumberland, Metropolitan sub, I will watch Amtrak 30 tonight. If you follow me on Instagram, I'll post about it. I hear there's a heritage unit on it, maybe an extra baggage. I don't know. I'll definitely check out. If you don't, my Instagram name is Virchin22Q. If you have Steam and you want to start like a whole chat or something like that, my Steam name is Amtrak123. Again, that's Amtrak123, pretty much. So that's it for me, guys. Thank you so much for all your support, your likes, and everything. I'll come back with more updates as soon as I can, especially with the Big E Train Show, because that's the most events coming up. Anybody has any information about the VRE excursion trains or the NW611, let me know. But yeah, go ahead and like my videos. Go ahead and comment all the time. Please subscribe, especially if you if you watch my videos. Go ahead and subscribe, and I'll subscribe back. So yeah, that's all I have. More updates to come soon, I promise. I should have one by next week, maybe midweek, like on next Wednesday. So till then, this is Train X Productions, out. Can't wait to see your stud car. Man, you talking shit.